Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread. Hi everyone, welcome back to another full lesson. Today we're going to take a look at the beautiful song Older and Taller by the singer-songwriter Regina Spektor. This one was off her 2016 album Remember Us to Life, and it's an absolutely gorgeous major key song. The album is absolutely brilliant. It's my favourite of all of hers, recorded with an orchestra. Some beautiful tracks on there. We're going to be looking at all sorts of techniques. We're going to be breaking down the chords and the reverb. We're even going to be doing a little bit of finger picking. And we're going to look at playing our ukulele percussively. So loads of fun stuff to get stuck into with this one. I've produced some full worksheets for this lesson, including one with the chords and a picking pattern, as well as a full lyric and chord sheet that you can play along to as well. They're completely free to download. If you visit the link in the description, you'll be able to download them from my Dropbox. If you wanted to contribute towards the cost of this lesson, you can send me some tips here at paypal.me/ucroom, or if you follow links in the description, there's more details there. Okay, let's take a look at the song. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. So who's gonna call her and say that you're back again? All the lies, they were wiser, and the wise, they were the lies, and the lies were on fire, and the fires were put out just to be lit again. You're alone till you're not alone, and that's all you need to know. Every time you decide to stay, then the world will make you go, and that's all you need to know. All the debts that got settled, all the settlers got the cattle, but the cattle was rattled by the snakes that were guarding the garden gates. And you retired just in time. You were about to be fired for being so tired from hiring the ones who will take your place. All the lies on your resume have become the truth by now, and all the things that you never did have become your youth somehow. You know everything by now. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread, but I will anyway. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. So who's gonna call her and say that you're here at last? All the days, they were longer, all the drinks, they were stronger. The words we sang wrong, but the songs we remembered, and time just passed. You're around till you're not around, and that's all you need to know. Every time you decide to stay, then the world will make you go, and that's all you need to know. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread, but I will anyway. let's take each of the sections of the song and break them down individually. And the song opens with this really lovely bouncy verse, and there's no introduction, it just goes straight into it. The chords are G, D, E minor, C, and it just keeps going round again. G, D minor, E minor, and C. We'll talk about the rhythm in a minute, but let's just take a look at the chords. G is our tonic chord. It just means we're in the key of G, so it's our one chord, kind of sets out the storm. That's followed by D major, which creates maybe a little bit of tension. The 5 chord in any key is used to create tension. Then we've got the 6 chord, which is an E minor, G, A, B, C, D, E minor. So when I say the 6th chord, it's just based on the 6th note of the scale. We tend to play that as a minor chord, and this one has quite a pop-tastic feel to it. Even though it's a minor chord, it feels relatively upbeat, just a touch of melancholy. And then finally we have the 4 chord. Notice that really just lifts things. It's a really pleasant, uplifting sounding chord. So G, D, touch of melancholy, E minor, and the uplift from the C chord. Each of those chords is one measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we're in common time or 4/4 timing, you can just count to 4 on each of those. Keep them going round and round. And that's basically the verse over and done with. Let's take a look at the rhythm of our playing though. Now Regina plays quite upbeat piano chords in these verses, and I wanted to replicate that on a ukulele, so we're going to play quite a bouncy upbeat strum pattern. We're going to keep it really, really simple. Now don't sweat too much on your downs and ups of this one, but the pattern that we're going to do is walk, walk, walk and running. Walk, walk, walk and running. I'm quite big into tapping things out on the ukulele to give you a feel of the timing. If you like to count numbers, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and you notice this is written out in your first sheet up here to help you. Now what I'm going to get you to do is just put your fingers on the ukulele fretboard, but don't press the strings. We don't want a horrible sounding chord, we want a nice chuck sound, and this is just to practice the rhythm. Now at its most basic, we're just strumming down 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you wanted to keep it really simple, you could just do that all the way through. But to kind of pep it up a little bit, I've got a little up at the end. So in terms of the strum pattern, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. Let me slow that down and break that down. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And as I said in the last little clip, because this song is in 4/4 timing, it's 4 beats per measure, each chord is 1 measure, so basically you just need to do that strum pattern once on every chord. It will sound something like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and G, D, E minor, C, we go around again. Just keep that going round. Notice the kind of bounce that those up, down, ups at the end provide. Should we try, let's try just half a verse, giving that a go. 1, 2, 3 and 4. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. Who's gonna call her and say that you're back again? Not too bad, right? Now a headless body talking at you. I've come in close so I can show you the picking pattern next of the next section. Now I'm a strong believer in when we're doing ukulele arrangements to keep them as dynamically interesting as possible. Regina does some really beautiful things with the piano. So when we come to this lovely refrain, I wanted to look at a picking pattern. Now that picking pattern is often what I call the inside-outside pattern. What you do is you pick the middle two strings, the C and the E string, one after another. That's your inside, right? Inside. Then we pick the outside two strings, the G and the A string, outside. I'm just chucking here, just holding the strings down but not pressing, just putting my fingers lightly on the strings. That gives you inside, outside, inside, outside. Notice I like to use my thumb and forefinger here, inside, outside. I just find it really simple that you can kind of cycle through. Can you see that? Inside, outside. We're going to play it with a slight bit of swing. Inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Now, if you really struggle with picking patterns, take this really, really slowly, and you can always strum on this bit if you get totally stuck, but I think this does sound lovely. You can also use four fingers if you prefer. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Now, you notice on the picking pattern diagram here that it's twice through that inside, outside every time, one per measure. So for instance, if I play the first chord, which is an E minor, we're going to play that for a measure. So that's two inside outsides. Just like that. Then we would move to a C chord. Same on a D chord. Now the next two chords, the G and the D that come next, they're half a measure each, or one inside outside each. G, D. Okay, so if I put that together from the start of the refrain, let's go nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and inside, outside, inside, and C, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. C, half as long on the G and D. Then we go again, exactly the same thing on the next half, E minor, C, D. Now this time we do our G to D, and we repeat the whole of that last line again. After we've hit that final note, we tap 3 times, just like Regina does on her piano when she plays this live, and that takes us into the next verse. Let's give that a go with a really nice slow tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're alone till you're not alone, and that's all you need to know. Every time you decide to stay, then the world will make you go, and that's all you need to know. Then we're back to all the debts they got settled into another verse. Okay. So once we've done that refrain, we repeat another verse and refrain, and then we come to one of my favourite sections, the bridge. And here the mood changes, and yet again we have something interesting happening dynamically. First off, each of the chords are just for one beat, so literally one strum on each. D, C, A minor, D. And I want you to just strum down reasonably forcefully with the nails of your right hand, roughly where the body meets the neck, so it's still nice and warm. And we're just going to strum down once on each chord. D, C, A minor, D. Just like that, and then we'll leave a little pause. In a minute, we're going to put a little bit of kind of percussive ukulele in that pause. Now, to make that a little bit easier, when you do your A minor, the temptation, because it's on the 2nd fret, is to use your 2nd finger, but I want you to try and remember to use your 1st finger if you can. The reason is, the next chord that follows is a D chord, and notice how much easier it is for me just to put those extra 2 fingers down if I've done my A minor like this. So D, C, A minor, D. And we do that round 3 times. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a threat. 4 times, sorry, I realised. Enjoy your youth. sounds like a thread. Now after you've done it 4 times, we have it twice more round with an extra D and C at the end. But I will anyway. And we do 1 more of those instrumentally. It's really arresting, isn't it? It's quite different after that lovely strumming, kind of bouncy, and then your lovely finger picking, to suddenly get this. It kind of creates this lovely kind of dynamism, and that's reflecting what Regina does on the piano. Now we can also add a bit of percussive ukulele here. So let's take a look at a technique we can use by tapping out a rhythm on our ukulele using our hand. Now on the record for this next bit, Regina does some clapping. Now that's actually easier to do on piano, believe it or not, than it is on ukulele, because the moment we go to clap, unless we've got a strap, our ukulele is going to fall away. So I thought we could do a lovely tapping percussive technique using the upper bow of our ukulele, something like this. Again, it adds to the dynamism, doesn't it? It makes it really, really interesting. Now it's not too difficult to do. I find that because our thumb and fingers have a different amount of force, it affects the timbre and tone that we get from our ukulele. So rather than just tapping in one place, we're going to use a mixture of our thumb tapping up here on the upper bout, and it could be any of these fingers down here on the lower bout, but I like to use my middle finger, it just feels comfortable. And I want you to just copy this. We're going to go thumb, finger, thumb to start off with. Thumb, finger, thumb. Just like that. I'll slow it down. See how I'm just tipping my hand, knocking against, using my wrist here, tipping my hand and coming back. Okay. We're going to follow that with 3 taps with the thumb. Okay, not too bad, right? I like to count it as a 1 and a 2 and 3. I know it's not the exact count in terms of numbers, but it's a really easy one to say in your head. 1 and a 2 and 3. Tap and a tap, tap, tap. Let's give that a go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good. See how fast you can get it? When we're playing this at a tempo, it's got to be fairly quick like this. Takes a little bit of practice, but you can do that. What we'll do is we'll practice it slowly a couple of times, then we'll speed it up. I'm just going to drop my uke down so that it's comfortably in my lap. And I'm going to play that D, C, A minor, D. I'll go slowly. And I do it again. And again. We're doing this anytime there's a tap. And on the last 2, remember, no taps, because this time we have but I will anyway. We do it again. But I will anyway. Then we have a pause and we're back in whenever you feel ready with verse 3. I remembered you older. And we do want that we want there to be a slight gap. We're kind of reflecting the way Regina plays. I saw an interview with her, and when she goes into the studio, she very much likes to play without a click track to keep it really, really natural. Obviously, you're going to have to watch me to see when I start strumming, but when you perform this on your own, leave those gaps, little pregnant pauses, as long as you kind of want to, because when you do come in with the next verse, it will create a real nice impact. Let's practice that round just once, the entirety of the bridge. Let's give it a go. 2, 3, 4. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a thread. pause, and then we come back in. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. Brilliant, well done guys. Just as a quick note, I wanted to say how important these little taps and picking patterns and everything are. At first it can feel like a bit of a gimmick, but it's a really important device, and it really adds some rhythm and interest to the piece. I think we can all be guilty on ukulele of just playing the same thing through every song, can't we? And that kind of, I don't know, it just kind of creates one level, doesn't it? It's not that interesting. So even if these little tapping techniques and picking patterns are quite difficult at first, do persevere with them, because you'll get a really, really lovely result. And believe it or not, that's everything we need to put together for this song. So in terms of the structure, we've got verse 1 and then refrain, knock, 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 don't forget. Verse 2, refrain, bridge, that's the bit that we just did. Then we have verse 3, refrain, bridge, and that's it. You've got the whole song all together. So what I suggest is just practice on your own for a little while. When you feel confident enough, come back to the video and join in with me, and we'll play it through one last time together, and we'll piece it all together in one go. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. So who's gonna call her and say that you're back again? They were wiser, and the wise they were the lies, and the lies were on fire, and the fires were put out just to be lit again. You're alone till you're not alone, and that's all you need to know. Every time you decide to stay, then the world will make you go, and that's all you need to know. All the debts that got settled, all the settlers got the cattle, but the cattle was rattled by the snakes that were guarding the garden gates. And you retired just in time, you were about to be fired for being so tired from hiring the ones who will take your place. All the lies on your resume have become the truth by now, and all the things that you never did have become your youth somehow. You know everything by now. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a threat. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a threat, but I will anyway. I remembered you older and taller, but you're younger and smaller. So who's gonna call her and say that you're here at last? All the days they were longer, all the drinks they were stronger, the words we sang wrong, but the songs we remembered, and time just passed. You're around till you're not around, and that's all you need to know. Every time you decide to stay, then the world will make you go, and that's all you need to know. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a threat. Enjoy your youth. Sounds like a threat, but I will anyway. Well, I hope you enjoyed playing that as much as I did. Isn't it a brilliant, brilliant song? Just wonderful. And loads of interesting techniques to learn, which is really, really important. I'll be back before too long with another new lesson. You can also join me Monday evenings at 6 o'clock UK time, where I perform a canacapella every Monday, where you can join in with me learning to play songs live. Every other Wednesday I have a live lesson as well, where you can join in and ask questions as we go. All the details will be on my website, mattsteadukulele.com, and there's also a link in the description to my Facebook group, Uke Students Hangout, and that's for any of my students, whether it be physical students, online, YouTube or whatever, and we all get together and we record versions of songs that we've learned. So this would be a really nice one to perform once you've got it. So join in for that, all completely free. And if you are feeling generous and you'd like to send any tips for today, it all goes towards keeping the lights on and keeping me producing more new content for you. I try not to hide it behind a paywall. You can either paypal.me/ukeroom, or you can follow the links in the description to where you can send me a virtual cup of coffee or a virtual high five, a small amount to thank me. Thank you for all of your support as always, it really means a lot to me, and thanks for your continuing sense of community and friendship as well. So take care everyone, I'll be back soon and I'll see you in the next video. Yukon everyone, bye.